And welcome into our second episode of the fall season here on Sports Den. I'm your host, Matt Dean, alongside Ted LaRue, and we're right into the thick of it here in the fall sports season, Ted. We got week 2 in high school football on the books. We'll get you all caught up on that. We've got really a full slate of volleyball highlights. We'll have some Centennial and Blaine action to catch you up on. And we had a boys-girls cat clash in soccer, so that means we got plenty of action on the pitch to catch everybody up on as well.
So cat clashes are great, rivalries are great. What's better than Friday night high school football? Friday night rivalry high school football, and that's where we're going to start here on this fine program with the battle for the block. Coming into Friday night, Spring Lake Park had won 9 of the last 10 of these battles, looking to make it 2 in a row. Classic Panther football to start. Mercreel Mitchell plunging the rock in from 1 yard out late in the first. Blue Shirts hold a 7-0 advantage. The sophomore scoring his first of the year after 118 yards on 11 carries last week. Next possession early in the second. Former quarterback Tyler Wilkinson takes the pitch. Great perimeter blocking. Rumbles 32 yards down the sideline to set the Panthers up for a great scoring chance. But a penalty drives SLP back to the 5. Fourth down, fake field goal. It goes haywire, and it remains 7-0. But Wilkinson would get his shot at the end zone with 3 minutes and change remaining until the break, taking it in from 9 yards out to put the Panthers on top 14-0. Wilkinson got the ball only 4 times, made the most of it though. 54 yards to go along with this good-looking score. No better time than the present, they say. First play of the second half, Lamari Brown, one cut here and another here, and he's gone. 68 yards without. How's 9.7 yards per carry sound? Sounds good to all those Panther fans out there. The Royal Blues starting to pull away, 21-point spread. Now the difference at this point. SLP loves the run game, but they can pass. Nolan Roach throws a perfectly placed fade ball to Caden Conkler for the 30-yard connection. Great adjustment here. Look at that, turning the body by the senior wide receiver. Roach was 4 of 7 for 55 yards. Conkler had a touchdown last week. He's got one this week as well. Just over halfway through the fourth. How about another dose of Dr. Brown's medicine for good measure? Lamari can get the tough yards as well. 35 rip SLP. Panthers roll to their 10th block win in the last 11 years.
I have a lot of trust in my O-line, so I know if I hit the hole super fast, I continue to keep running one way. I know that hole's going to open up. I've been doing it since freshman year, and I trust my O-line to the day I die, so that's how I knew it was going to be open on the backside.
What does it say at like this point in the year, game 2, that your offense is humming at that level to be like what maybe you guys can achieve once this year is all said and done?
Obviously state championships been our goal since 1991, so that's our main goal. We got to get up there, see the championship.
When the offensive line can get that big of a push, it just kind of opens up everything. And we got receivers making plays. Trust the O-line, they're blocking good. Everybody's blocking good. Offense is going.
Taking home the block for the second consecutive year and in convincing fashion. Last year was 35-7. This year it's 35-0. What does that mean to this program to be able to win that convincingly against Irondale?
That's what we expect here. We got to keep going. Not our cleanest game, but we played good enough to get the W tonight, and we're on to the next week.
All right.
I just feel like we practice every single day. We work very hard. On the off days, we practice our hands, we practice speed, we lift every single day. I just feel like if we keep on working, we'll be great.
What was in your eyes, what was kind of the most impressive part of the defense here today? Because there is a lot to choose from.
I'd say all the 3 and outs. Like, we made plays, we kept on going. I got a flag on a block punt, but hey, we made up for it. We got the ball right back. I just feel like we're all working as a team, a family. Thank God. I just love it.
All right, the Centennial Cougars, they were in action on Friday night. The home opener against Osseo. Cougars trying to get out to a 2-0 start on the season and taking on an Osseo club that they beat 36-14 in Week 5 on the road last year. first home game played in the Cougar Den this season. We pick up action in the first quarter. Senior Calvin Coppersmith going nearly 30 yards here in the first quarter end around, a 28-yard tote in for the score to put the Cougars up 7-zip less than 4 minutes in. Still first quarter, senior Philip C. is bottled up inside, bounces outside, and he sees nothing but green grass ahead. 73 yards to the house. It was 7-6 Cougars after the Orioles missed the extra point. About 7:30 to play still in the first quarter. Caleb Melzer reaching across the plane here. Waning moments of the first quarter, he'd come up short. Try it again, and Isaac Belinsky-Strauss would punch it in from 1 yard out to finish the drive 14-6 Centennial. IBS would find Pater again just before the half. That was the fourth touchdown of the half, an 8-yard run to make it 28-6. Third quarter, junior Toby Cerna, he had a great night. He would be rewarded with his first varsity touchdown, 6 carries, 68 yards, including a 22-yarder there. And then Jalen Holden goes 29 yards. He crashes into Alex Battles to finish off the 29-yard touchdown there. It was 42-6. End of the third quarter, these teams would trade touchdowns to start the fourth, and then Jeremiah Sisk with the pick for Centennial. And if they weren't celebrating already on the sideline, they were after this INT that sealed the 49-14 win. And taking a look at the totals from this game, the Cougars outgaining the Orioles only marginally. That's a surprise when you look at the box score, 350 to 344, but Centennial dominant on the ground where they outgained the Orioles 325 to 183. They utilized 13 different ball carriers running up that score, so getting some new guys some varsity experience, and Centennial crucially not turning the ball over like they did last week against Rosemount, and they are on to a 2-0 start. Centennial with a chance to go to 3-0 for the first time in 8 years, believe it or not. Even that state championship season did not have a 3-0 start for Centennial.
I mean, if you're running the ball and protecting the ball like they are, good things are going to happen for Centennial. That's the Diggins way of football. And Matt, we're looking forward to week 3 already. Got some good games on the slate.
Yeah, Blaine out to a 1-1 start, and we didn't have highlights. They were shut out 20-0 in Rogers this week. They'll have a chance to bounce back in week 3 against Anoka, a team that the Bengals lost to 27-14 last year. That was a matchup that some of the Bengal players were talking about, a game they had circled on their calendar coming into the year. Anoka, they've had a lot of good quarterbacks come through that program. They got another good one. It sounds like junior quarterback Blake Sieben, who is part of an 0-2 Anoka team, but they played 2 good clubs at EP versus Forest Lake, and both games that were within a couple of scores for Anoka, so that'll be a tough matchup for Blaine coming up in week number 3. Centennial seeking that first 3-0 start since 2017. They're on the road at Champlin Park this week, a team they lost to 29-20 last year in Circle Pines. The Rebels out to a 2-0 start. A couple of nice wins against STMA and Andover on their schedule. And then Spring Lake Park, it's going to be your last familiar foe of the year. Park Center coming up. Pirates out to a rough start. They've hit some stumbling blocks and are 0-2. SLP saw Park Center last year, shut them out 35-0, but it will be 6 straight brand new opponents that Spring Lake Park has not seen last year for the rest of the year this season.
Yeah, that's Spring Lake Park. I was there on Friday night calling that game. That is a deep team. That is an experienced team. That is one physical football team. But you mentioned those new challenges coming up down the road. It's going to be interesting to see how they kind of battle through those. And speaking of Spring Lake Park, we switch from one football to more of a football here coming up on the soccer pitch. How about some Cat Clash action? We go back to Tuesday night with the boys. Centennial entered Tuesday's Cat Clash with Spring Lake Park undefeated, looking to keep it that way. Here we go, 4th minute. What appears to be a harmless ball towards the Cougar keeper turns into a scary situation. Mubarak Wayu, pressure after the bobble, crisis averted. 1 minute later, Cougars have a chance of their own near the box, but a nice kick save here from Kai Herrera Markwald keeps the game scoreless. As they say on the ice, kick save and a beauty, but in the 5th minute, Beckett Babish has a breakaway. The National Park Service says never back down from a Cougar. Markwald stands strong, makes another great save to keep the Goose Eggs on the board. 16th minute, Panthers have a great set piece opportunity. Eamon Lilchich gets his head on it, but it's an easy save the other way. 27th minute now. Cougars have a corner kick. It drifts to the outside of the box, but SLP forward Frank Ray, a little physical. It draws the foul, and thus the penalty kick. At first, it appears Sebastian Fernandez gives the Cougars the lead, but Keegan Janacek gets a little bit of a head start here. You can see 20 in white. Gets his foot in the box. The goal is waved off. 52nd minute corner kick on the other end for the Cougars. They get the whistle to go their way this time in the box, and it's Yassine Abdelaziz connects to give Centennial a late 1-0 lead at Panther Stadium. Under 5 minutes to go, Panthers set piece opportunity trying to tie it. Does not go their way. Centennial hangs on for a hard-fought 1-0 Tuesday night victory. And following Tuesday night's win, the Cougars rolled Anoka 5-1 behind 2 goals from Babish and 3 assists from Fernandez, both featured in that highlight. Cougars find themselves tangled with Osseo at the top of the Northwest Suburban Conference standings. Those two match up next Monday in Oriole Country. That should be a really good and a really exciting matchup. Before then, the Cougars will host Totino Grace and Andover this week. As for the other teams within boys soccer and where they stand right now, Blaine finds themselves in the middle of the pack following a 4-2-1 start to the season. The Bengals have won just 1 game in the last 4 since winning their first 3 to open the year. A cat clash with SLP kicks it off on Tuesday for Blaine. That game will be on North Metro TV as part of a doubleheader. Road trips to Anoka and White Bear Lake follow that showdown. Spring Lake Park has won 2 of their first 6 games to start, or just have won 2 of their first 6 to start the season, including 3 in a row. After their cat clash against Blaine, the Panthers will host Elk River and then go on the road to Champlain Park on Monday. Back to Tuesday night, Cougar and Panther girls combined for just 1 win in their first 7. Something's got to give. 15th minute, some good Panther passing through the middle and a decent look at the net, but it's fired wide here. Ensuing play, goalkeeper Mia Sutz sets up the coast-to-coast score. The ball booms across midfield between 2 Panther defenders. And check out the hustle from Alexis Larson, finding the ball and then burying it inside the opposite post for the goal for her 3rd of the year. End zone to end zone. A great play all the way around. 23rd minute, Panthers get the ball rolling for a good scoring chance, but the attempted cross from Lucy Jocks just not far enough to Stella Nebraska. 1-0 Cougars at the break. 41st minute, Larson sets up Lily Fernandez. She finds Twine. What a time for her first goal of the year. Centennial gets out to a 2-0 lead early in the second half. Panthers had a tough time getting anything going offensively, and the Cougars cap a great night with Dara Akpan cleaning up her own rebound, tapping it into the back of the net to notch her 2nd goal of the season. Cougars roll to a 3-0 triumph on Tuesday night.
I just think having pressure on the back line really helped us. It was kind of like a, I think, bad pass to one of their center backs, and just keeping that high press on their center backs really, I think, helped us. And just being able to get that last touch around her was kind of just how it happened. But making sure we kept that press up the whole game was really how it all happened. But
I think it's really cool, and honestly, I'm really grateful for the goal because sometimes I do get scared in front of the net. So being able to stay calm and be there for the rebound and Alexis' goal was great to finish it off.
Centennial would go on to defeat Anoka on Thursday night by a 6-0, scored behind 3 Lily Fernandez goals. After starting the season with 2 losses, they've rattled off 3 straight wins by a combined score of 12-1. Typical Centennial girls soccer starting to look good and find themselves 3rd in the early season conference standings. Centennial has 2 home tilts coming up against Totino Grace and Andover this week before heading out to Mounds View for a Saturday afternoon showdown against the Mustangs. Blaine is right on the heels of the Cougars following a hot 4-0-1 start to the 25 campaign. They've scored 4 or more goals in 3 of their first 5 games, including a 6-2 win at Hopkins back on August 29th, Tuesday, We'll see Blaine hosted in that aforementioned Cat Clash, on North Metro TV against Spring Lake Park, followed by a matchup on the road at 1-6 Anoka. So a favorable week coming up here for the Bengals. Spring Lake Park has dropped 4 of their first 6. They head to Blaine in that Cat Clash. We'll keep mentioning it, man. We'll keep mentioning it because you got to be there. The Panthers then host Elk River on Thursday. The Elks are 1-4, should be an evenly matched game there. Chance for SFP to get a win, and then they take the trip to undefeated Champlin Park over there on Monday, Matt.
Yeah, like you said it. I mean, Centennial girls soccer,
It's
you
inevitable.
can't say they're back. They've never gone away. And
Right.
Spring Lake Park, last couple of years have been 2 of the best years for the girls program ever. Blaine's had some incredible teams lately, but Centennial, I mean, no matter the coach, there's something in the water in Circle Pines in girls soccer. They just keep on ticking. We're going to move our attention over to the volleyball court. We got some highlights from a couple of our area schools, but Centennial, speaking of what's in the water in Circle Pines, they've got an impressive looking volleyball team this year. They enter the week ranked 10th in the coaches poll. Blaine, a team that tested that Centennial team, the section semis last year. They should be interesting throughout the season, and we're going to blink and we're going to have, something like 15 games in the books for volleyball. All of a sudden, there's going to be a lot of tournament play coming up. We'll kind of get into that as we move along. Let's head into our first set of highlights, which includes that 10th-ranked Centennial team. They were hosting Anoka with the Cougs out to a 3-1 start. This was last Thursday, the Northwest Suburban Conference opener. Centennial's only loss against another ranked opponent in number 3 Benilde. Aubrey Workala finishes off here. A nice pass from Kate Portamonch to get things started for Centennial. And then Lydia Shimek, a freshman, serving there for Anoka with an ace. This one not coming back to respond back for the Tornadoes. There's All-State middle blocker Elena Hakey, and that one is not going to be returned. Hakey, a terrific all-around player. Hakey, everybody expecting the fastball. That's not fair. She drops in a changeup and gets it through. Hakey would lead the Cougars with 4 aces in this match. She plays the back row. She's a dominant middle. They'll move her to the outside hitter position. Hayden Reeder, heck of a night though as well. 28 kills, led the Tornadoes with that kill there. Hakey with the soft touch up at the line. She led Centennial with 16 kills in the match. Reeder would find a way to respond here, and they just kept putting Reeder to work from that left pin, the Tornadoes. It would be the Cougars taking the first set 25-21, the second 25-20. Anoka would answer back to win a third set and force a fourth. Nora Leisure, don't be fooled by her name. She never takes a set off. Sounds very relaxed. She had 11 kills in this one. Get your armor on. We've got a joust up at the line. Reeder beating Chase Manthe there to get a point for Anoka. And then Hakey back to serving, the future Golden Gopher. That's not returned. One of her 4 aces we mentioned in the match. And then Nora Leisure with the cross-court kill. And she was involved in the block there as well up at the line for Centennial. Hakey playing the back row. Nice up. Addie Kemper says, "Give me that." Slams it down on a terrific set from Manthe. The Cougars would pull away in the third set, 25-13, and win the match.
The first 2 sets tonight were definitely close, but we pulled them out. I think those sets, it's just important to stay as a team and really make sure we're minimizing our errors towards the end, which I think we did a really great job of. Our blocking also really turned up towards the end of those sets, so I think that's a big part of our game that we can capitalize, and I think just using that to our advantage as we move forward.
And our second set of highlights from Thursday, Blaine Volleyball hosting Coon Rapids. The Bengals out to a 2-1 start, looking for their 6th consecutive sweep in straight sets of the Cardinals going back the last 5 years. Alba Thau, the freshman for Coon Rapids, with an ace serve. Blaine would get into their offense. Elena Kurland with the finish for the Bengals. Little overpass here, and doink, Bryn Haven there with a putback for the Bengals. Avery DeSoto Weston keeping the Cardinals honest with a little dump set there. Terrific play. Coon Rapids would respond. Kira Radke at pinballs around off her initial swing and drops for Coon Rapids. DeSoto Weston, beautiful back set here. In stride to Haven, slams it down. The Bengals took set number 1, 25-16. Radke with the early notch in the belt here for the Cardinals. Their senior and top outside hitter. A little jump serve from Haven, a good one. No chance as that goes down for an ace. How about a tip of the cap here to the libero? Talitha Q on cue just to keep it alive. Cardinals get it over and earn a point. Q again here setting, but this would run into a wall set up by Kurland, and into the net for the Bengal point. Claire Tenhaken going up and bringing home the bacon. She slammed that through, and then Genevieve Drew, just like the Bengals, drew it up. They take set number 2 and are up 2-0 in the best of 5. Azaria Banks off balance, kept it alive, and a miscue by the Bengals would earn Coon Rapids a point. DeSoto Weston in command, the setter, getting everybody involved. Freshman Bella Siebert scores there. The Bengals roll to the 3-set sweep and take this one in straight sets over Coon Rapids. So that is going to do it for us here on this edition of Sports Den. We got another great weekend coming up in high school football. Our featured matchup this Friday, Steve Linsmeyer will be on the call. We have got Blaine hosting the Anoka Tornadoes. And yeah, Ted, we mentioned it, really good quarterback on that Anoka end. Blaine have figured out their quarterback situation seemingly, and I think it's going to be a good matchup. I think if two offenses ignore that 0-2 record for Anoka so far.
Yeah, that should be a really good matchup. I think Blaine is, I think there can be an exciting team certainly this season. And, you know, when I was watching those highlights just now over the course of this show, man, Lamari Brown and Elena Hakey, they've been doing it for a few years, haven't they? Man, it makes me feel old, you know, seeing they came onto campus, both of them, their freshman year, and they were great right from the outset. Now to be able to see them kind of at this level right now is just amazing, to see them kind of rise above the competition as well. So we got soccer coming up on Tuesday, got some volleyball, Andover at Centennial coming up on Thursday, and then football on Friday. So 3 games coming up on North Metro TV. So for Matt Dean, I'm Ted LaRue. Great and grand edition of Sports Den is in the books. We'll see you right back here next Monday night.